Welcome back, and a reminder that if you're watching us right now on Twitch, what are you doing? Oh my god, only losers do that. You should go to os.lolesports.com and you can get sick rewards in-game. You get Blue Essence, you get, what else do you get? XP, you get icons, you get emotes. Emotes? Emotes?
Emotes.
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 Emotes?
Both?
I mean, is it
Motes?
emoji or emoji? What do you say? And I'm absolutely going to judge you if you
do I
pick the wrong
actually say?
answer.
I say emoji.
Emoji.
Yeah,
Emoji.
Like a normal human being, like
Emoji.
emoji, not emo. We're not emojiing.
Emoji.
Yeah, we're not emoting the chat.
But I guess I do say esports.
I do say e-gym, but I don't say emoji.
Okay.
Edge 'em next to me, of course.
Why did we even start talking about this?
I don't
Sorry,
know.
you get emotes. Emotes. E-motes. You get electronic
Sick,
modes.
dude, just sick.
Okay, I'm gonna move it on. Now we're gonna play a game now called Procasso. So this is I got this because Rusty, obviously not new to the OPL in a broad sense, but back here casting, and you know there's gonna be some players that you're not as familiar with as say Bryce and obviously myself.
So you're just putting pressure on both of yourselves for Procasso
We are the
here.
esteemed panel of
Is
judges.
that what?
Basically,
And
yeah.
you're the guest.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
the way that Procasso works, I'm going to show you an extremely zoomed in part of a pro player. You're going to have to guess who it is. I've got some clues for you if you get stuck, and then we're going to see how we go. Of course, the desk is welcome to join in if Jake decides to get off his phone. But the reason I say that is because when I proposed this segment, Jake went, I reckon I'll get 50% right. That was the first reaction, was you're going to get half of these correct. And I like that confidence.
Absolutely. Why would I not?
I wasn't even making a comment. I was just saying that was a fact that happened. Number one, let's get it up. Let's get him up.
I got it. Do I
you
just say it?
you
I know.
have it?
I think I know who it is.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go last.
Okay.
Right?
That's a cop out.
No. Oh, sorry. You want me to say it?
Yeah.
It's Jake. Order Jake.
I feel like that's where I was thinking, right? But I wasn't sure about the mustache part.
He's definitely had a disgusting mustache before.
Because the only one that has that in the photo shoot that I would define
Oh.
as filthy was Spooks.
Interesting.
No, that's
Nah, Sammy's.
that's
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 not
not
his
that's
face.
not Sammy birthday boy.
Yeah,
D.
it's
That's
not
Do you want a clue?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, hit us. I mean,
Do you feel like you're right?
Jake,
I
do you want to
feel-
guess
I-
first?
That's the definitive
lock
right.
it in, Eddie.
You're
Lock it
locking
in, Niche. Lock it in.
He's right. It's
Yes.
Jake. I didn't even need to give you the clue. My clue was going to be he looks a little bit like Kratos. That was going to be my clue.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, that actually
fair
would have
enough.
helped a lot.
Yeah.
Looks like
yeah.
Ragnar Lothbrok's big brother.
Oh yeah, any
that
sort of
Rollo?
like Norse
Yeah.
Viking
Yeah.
style person. That's who he looked like. All right, we're off to a great start. You
Yep.
killed it. Let's get on number 2.
Oh.
Ooh,
Babbitt?
Babbitt, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Babbitt.
I didn't even need to give you the clues. It's Babbitt.
Can you? What's the clue?
Yeah.
Are
The clues
are
were-
the clues half the fun?
Here were the clues. Number 1, native Queenslander.
Okay.
Number 2, good baby boy.
Yeah,
Good
okay.
baby boy.
That would,
Number 3, he's the son of an ex-pro player.
Carbon.
Carbon. Yeah.
All right.
So that works out.
yeah, fair enough.
We didn't
Also,
need any
I
of
like that
them,
one.
though.
Have you got any difficult ones?
We're 100%, by the way.
I know, you're
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I-
Nick's sweating.
we
He's
clearly
like,
clearly
hot
didn't
here.
zoom in enough.
Lucky you didn't bring your collar. It's all good.
I suggested we're going in on 1 pixel. I will tell you though that number 1 and number 2 were actually switched around. So there was a terrifying moment where I'm like, wait, who is that? That doesn't look like Babbitt. But I think we're fine now. Let's bring up number 3.
Oh.
Who's that?
Is it
Mouth.
Can I have a guess?
Chiefs
that?
player?
I reckon it's only.
Yeah, I think it's only.
You reckon? What
I
makes
think
you say that?
I don't know. It just looks familiar. I'm
Because
probably wrong. but
no.
I'll take a
It's the
guess.
dimples,
Yeah.
but it's the fact that he's not smiling very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only,
Yeah, right.
only he's not
That's
a big
fair.
grinner. He's,
Yeah, okay.
He's got the squat, like in the photos.
The
he-
squat.
like he's on one knee always, and he's giving you like a hard stare.
Yep.
And he's just like he's got the sly grin. He will never give you like a toothy grin.
Like a big
he
smile.
just yeah.
Yeah.
But he's just like subdued.
He
Yeah, I
only
reckon-
has a small. It's only.
Hey,
Congratulations.
we're
It was
so
only.
good.
Here were my clues for only, which we don't need any of these. He's only 22 years old. He's only played for 7 teams. I've said his name twice in the last 1 minute.
Oh, true.
Okay, number 4. Who dat?
Oh, that's an easy one.
I know that one.
This
but
is an
I'll let
easy
everyone
one.
else go.
Whoever.
What?
What?
Well, I was going. Where are the hard ones, mate? That's
I know. Well,
Is it? Do I blame you?
no, you don't blame me. You
I think I blame you.
No,
You're
you
the only
blame
one on
Lauren.
camera.
You should blame Lauren
Yeah.
publicly. On
Yes.
No, well, we thought that because you get any closer, suddenly you're just seeing like a bit of lip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Who is it though? You haven't actually said.
Oh, it's Sybil.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's Big
Damn it.
Sibs.
Okay, no, you totally got that right.
Yeah. How many more do we have?
Apparently, Sybil went to the same high school as Midbeast. I didn't know that.
I knew that.
Yeah, there you go. You would have got it then.
Fun fact.
Okay, the last one. Let's see how this goes. The second last one, actually. Who's that?
That's Juves, isn't it?
God damn it! 100% right. There's not a challenge in this at all.
He's
My
also
clues.
too big for the graphic.
My clues for
We're
Juves.
6 foot tall.
There's
you know?
just so much Juves. 6'5", man. Can't fit the
That's
graphic.
true. That's true. He loves to kick a ball around. His mum is my favorite follower on Twitter, and he puts food on Bryce's table.
He has yet to do that.
You haven't been paid yet?
Oh no, he's never physically
my
put
God.
food on my table.
This is a big deal. Is that? It's probably because you publicly shame your own team
Yeah,
on
didn't
broadcast.
tip
while
them.
picking.
That hasn't happened.
I actually lied. We do have one more. Who's this?
Oh. Who's
That
that?
could be
Wow.
one of any
Who's that?
17 members of
Is
of
this
Art
one like
Gaming.
that I have to try and guess somehow?
Yep.
It's the straight on angle.
All the information you need is there. It's all there.
Who was in the front of the photos? Is there a player at the front that does this one?
I don't know, mate.
Well, like in the flying
Well,
V.
hang-
Yeah,
I just
there,
can't
like,
believe
there in the
Avant
middle.
changed their name to the Icebreakers. That shocked me. when that
So
happened.
Sybil's already been up, so I think we've narrowed it down.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but he has two junglers, so
We'll
it
go with
doesn't really
Shock.
narrow
Shock.
it down.
Yeah, I would go
7
with
to
Shock.
6,
You're
right?
gonna go with Shock?
Yeah.
The correct answer is. It's me, your next jungler! Congratulations to me, joining the Icebreakers. I'm going to do really well. Look at that Photoshop job, by the way.
I'm glad
That's
you picked
ace.
a team though.
Look,
First week you picked a team.
and you know, I was like, I'm just glad that I have a coach who took a chance on me. So that's very exciting.
Everyone can have a chance, Nick, with me. Everyone can have a chance.
Even me. Congratulations. That was Procasso. I think what we've learned from this is next time it needs to be 1 pixel wide.
Significantly more difficult.
Or maybe I pick pro players from other esports.
We
How does
also-
Riot feel about that? Huh?
We also should have put them together to make a face. That's where I think we went wrong with that one.
That's a good
Yeah.
move, yeah. But you're still gonna see it, right? Because you just go, whose mouth is that? I don't know.
2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, though. I think instead of like...
Yeah,
And
maybe,
then- okay,
maybe that
the-
throws you off enough. That's
The
true.
next level is that the face also looks like a different pro player. Like you can build,
Yes.
let's say, spooks from
Juves
like 5
out of
other
people.
players. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
like that a lot.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to
That's top
say,
tier.
Sybil is in chat right now, and he said, "Welcome aboard." So thank you very much, Sybil. I knew you were my favorite. Let's get on to the game. We're going to be seeing Legacy versus Direwolves.
Yes, and this is going to be an exciting one. I don't know about you, Ijim, but for my match of the day, I was personally looking at this one as a big
Okay.
gauge on how the teams will perform. Both going 0-1 on the first day isn't great, but this is if I was in either of these teams, this is my real opportunity to prove myself in the first week. There are some harder matches, and then there is the big opportunity to get yourself up there and get your feet wet as new players coming into the league as well. You see an opportunity like that to get the comfort there for you.
Yeah, like absolutely. I feel like I probably did Direwolves a disservice on broadcast yesterday, so like sorry for that for the players individually. But yesterday, I think for them specifically, they had a fairly good early game versus the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was going fine, and then Chiefs are like outclassed them a bit macro wise, like completely over like just throttled them and then took control of the game and it was over. But I feel like these two teams sort of match up fairly evenly. I would think there's a lot of fresh blood on both of these lineups, and I think it could be a cracker of a game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it as well. Let's just quickly see who we tipped, because there's a lot on the line. There's a lot of taste buds. Half of mine are gone already. I'm going Legacy. We've got Spawn taking Direwolves. We've got Bryce and Rusty. You're both taking Legacy as well. And then finally, Pyra, he's taking Direwolves. Pyra, by the way, equal loser yesterday with me. So
Yeah.
he will eat things when he comes to Australia.
Stacking up the chilies.
We don't know what they
He's
are yet.
stacking up the chilies.
So let's break down these rosters. Let's start off with Legacy. Bryce, talk us through it.
So, Coach Denin is a very old face in the OPL, now representing the Legacy squad behind the scenes. Of course, Pat Prize is a top laner, Guts jungler, Chaz it up, or just Chaz in the mid lane. Praedyth, ex-top laner, now AD carry. He's supported by Crazy in the bottom side. And this is like wild card galore.
Yeah.
Jake hit on it yesterday. I feel like they had a fairly consistent early game-ish. I feel like Chaz is the guy that I look at. For me, individually, like I play a lot of solo queue with these guys, so like I'm literally in the games. He's someone that during the off season just grinded the hell out of games.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was playing a ton. He has those moments where obviously like it's solo queue. You have very rough games. You have very good games, but he can pop off, and I feel like he's a player with a lot of potential.
I'm sorry, I heard what sounded like a dead body hitting the ground upstairs.
I will say,
Yep.
it's Mammoth is above us, so that makes
Right.
a lot of
That
sense.
does
Yeah,
make
they're
a lot of
pretty
sense.
heavy.
It's in the
That's
name.
Yeah.
All right, moving on now to Direwolves lineup. Rusty, who are these men?
They are Charlie as the coach of the team, BioPanther in the top lane, with Udisoft in the jungle. You've got Get Back mid lane with Andrew and Corporal rounding out the bottom lane. Of course, this team with a lot to prove. Coach Sharp still existing with them, just not going to be the on-stage coach for them anymore, but still definitely waiting in the wings and has posted a few videos now saying what he's doing with the team. And a lot of it is like the mental game, trying to get them all prepared and get them set up to perform at their best.
Well, we're going to see if they can handle that now. And just very quickly before I throw to the desk, D&O says, Nick, talk about eGym shoes.
Yes.
You got new ones.
got some.
Yes, I did Twitch chat a favor. Okay,
You got torn
You did
apart last
yourself
night,
a
my
favour.
friend.
Well, yes, I wanted new ones,
Yep.
but I've just been a bloody busy boy.
Yep,
But
lazy
also,
boy.
I will just say,
It's been 3.5 months. More than that.
I'm going to keep my old ones and wear them literally all the time.
I think you should.
You guys, and I'm pointing at the camera, we're looking at my shoes, but you guys will just literally never see them again.
My
So,
favorite part of
Thanks.
yesterday, and the producer is telling me right now to cut to the game, and I refuse. My favorite part was before the broadcast started. You sat down where you are right now.
Yeah.
And you went, "Oh, this is good because the table's there."
Somebody-
And you showed me a rip in your shoes. You're like, "No one's going to see this, right?" I was like, "No, it's fine, baby. The table's there." And then Richard, the producer, walked in and was like,
moved
"Bryce, I
me
need you to
there,
sit on the end."
And the table moved away.
Nah, yeah,
God
it
damn
was all over. It was an inside job. All right, that's enough talk about shoes. We'll talk more about shoes after this game. Let's throw it over to Benji and Spawn.
Thanks, Nick Boy. I'm Benji, joined by Jake, Spawn, Tiberi. So, Spawn, I noticed with the picks, earlier in the week you picked Direwolves as your team in this game.
Yep.
You've seen since then games yesterday from Legacy and Direwolves.
Yep.
How do you feel about that now?
Yeah, very good.
Still
I
think you're
actually
gonna
thought Direwolves looked pretty good yesterday.
take it? Okay.
I thought Direwolves had really good control through Get Back. I thought that he could have taken a couple more opportunities on the Akali, but otherwise, I was pretty happy with how he played. And I thought that Andrew and Corporal actually held up fairly well in the bottom lane. So I think that BioPanther and Udisoft look like they had good synergy, that they have a win condition to play through. No other OPL teams play through the top side of the map. Everyone else plays through their superstar 80 carries. So I think that this Direwolves lineup can potentially upset. And I kind of said, I have a lot of faith in the Direwolves to get better quickly, purely off how they go about things. And, everything from the high performance center to the couple of coaches to the ex-pro player being their owner. There's just so much to like about the Direwolves organization. At the same time, there is that positives about Legacy. But I just think it's going to take a little bit more time. This Legacy lineup in the off-season did go to Adelaide, did hang out in the Adelaide Football Club's high performance center as well. That's obviously the backer behind the Legacy esports organization. But for some reason, I just think the Direwolves are going to be able to put it together now.
Okay, well, pick some bands for game number 1 of Legacy vs. Direwolves for the split. They'll play each other actually 3 times over the next 10 weeks. So we'll see a rematch in probably 3 or 4 weeks' time between these two. But for now, Lysandra, Galio, Evelyn off the board for Legacy. And then in response, Direwolves has taken off Cassiopeia, Akali, and Aurelia.
Yeah, and that's interesting, right? Because if you got someone like BioPanther, maybe you want him on, the Aurelia. Get Back did have a fairly good performance on the Akali as well. Does leave up the Lucian, who's kind of the only other S-tier pick up and available. Oh, actually, that's a lie. They've already got Urgot as well as Aatrox still up as well.
Yep, so Lucian first picked away by Legacy, and in response, both Aatrox and Urgot taken by Direwolves. These are 3 champions we've seen off the table for most of our games so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that Urgot lost its first game when Order played it last time, so we'll see whether it goes back to the winning side. Also, it can be played top as well as mid. Aatrox can be played top, mid, jungle, maybe support, maybe 80 carry. He's very strong at the moment. So I think that there's still 2 good flex picks and doesn't really give away the comp, even though it looks like on red side, Direwolves have just drafted their 2 solo lanes.
Absolutely. So yeah, most likely Get Back and Udi and BioPanther locked in there. It's like Braum being taken away here by Legacy. Braum Lucian. We've seen that lane quite a bit actually, especially a bit last year.
Yep.
So good synergy there.
Big Legacy bottom lane. Actually, Lost and Cupcake used to play it a lot when they first came over to the Legacy lineup, and just gives you a lot of lane bully potential.
Zach for Guts, most likely. I don't think we'll see that one in a lane. So leaving up their 2 solo laners, Legacy for later on, and jungle most likely picked up here for Udisoft is Camille.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now you've just picked your whole top side of the map when the bottom side of the map is there. So if you're Legacy, you're probably looking at throwing double bans towards Corporal. I would expect try and force him onto a range carry, try and bully that lane a little bit more. Direwolves at the same time can ban away any of the solo lane picks they don't want to play against. Top lane's already been rampaged and pillaged, so it probably will be that mid lane. If Syndra is gone, maybe looks for something like LeBlanc to join it soon.
Yep, so Syndra taken off the board. The Legacy here taking Ezreal off the board, so looking to hit Andrew a little bit here. We'll see if they double up on their 80 carry ban in a minute here, or if they want to throw one at the support role. And then on Direwolf's side, they're looking here to ban the solo laners like you mentioned. We'll see what they come through with. This is actually kind of interesting though. Legacy favoring the bot side of the map that yesterday didn't look very good in their game.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think that Predator and Crazy are going to take a little bit more time. I mentioned it yesterday, but you know, exceptional circumstances meant that Yuzuki stepped away from the lineup and Crazy became the support player. I have faith that Crazy is going to be able to get it together. He wasn't 80 carry, so he's used to the lane, but he does need to make that transition across. He talked about it a little bit. Denian's been helping him out in that regard, but do expect it to take a couple more weeks just because he had a broken preseason, which is tough to get through.
Last ban's coming through a LeBlanc, the mid lane pick ban there, sorry, for Direwolves, and Kai'Sa. So double throw at Andrew there from Legacy. Maybe that's an interesting thing. You just mentioned the support ban. They've gone for the 80 carry. It's still in the same lane, but...
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I thought they would go with it because Civ and Varus also are kind of okay matchups into Lucian. After a while, they just sit mid and wave clear. You see the Civ is actually going to be elected for here. In response, I expect Chaz to go towards an assassin. You know, you got something like an Echo available. Played it a little bit. But apart from that, I mean, top lane has just really, unless you're going towards Vladimir or Victor, Sion, I guess, is also available, but just doesn't seem like many good matchups into the Aatrox, unfortunately.
Yep, and Biopanther has seen him play it actually a bit as well. He's no stranger to the champion. He's got a lot of competitive experience. Vladimir being picked up here, probably, I imagine that's for the top lane, but we'll see what their final solo laner is.
I think it has to be for the top lane, unless they've got something they can double flex, like a Victor here, and then they can kind of pick their poison. If you don't throw the Vladimir up there, whoever is going into Aatrox will just get run down. As you mentioned, Biopanther has a history with it. Actually was the first competitive player that picked the Aatrox up in the top lane at Rift Rivals after the rework. So shout out to Biopanther.
First global player, I think, as well. It's
correct.
very quick jump on that bandwagon. Yasuo locked in. That's a pick we haven't seen this weekend so far.
Certainly is, and I expected it to see it with Sejuani, just because of the great synergy towards the two passives. Yasuo obviously builds a lot of attack speed. Sejuani's passive means that if you melee auto-attack a champion with Sejuani near there, it stacks up her stun for her. So really nicely synergizing there. But without that, with just the Zac, good knock-up combo, sure. But that's kind of on a hope and a prayer that you're going to be able to get a 5-man here.
Absolutely. Last pick is going to be the Rakan. So Sivir Rakan in the bot lane to fight against this Lucian Braum. That'll be an interesting lane here because yesterday we saw the Legacy bot lane get shoved out very hard. Sivir has good wave clear, so we'll have to keep our eye on that one to see if overnight Predator and Crazy have figured a solution out to that problem. And the top lane, we've got the, looks like Vladimir versus the Urgot, and then they're throwing their Get Back, getting the Aatrox here, as opposed to Biopanther.
Yeah, that's a little bit interesting. I mean, maybe just liking the lane assignments a little bit more. I think that Camille plus Urgot in the top lane has just great gank potential, so I like the fact that they're trying to set that up. One thing that I will mention is, you know, even though there's not a super tank apart from really Guts as Zac, this is going to be a full AD comp coming across from the Direwolves, whereas a little bit more mixed damage there for Legacy. So we'll see whether scaling becomes an issue as this game progresses.
Absolutely. Now, if you're interested in Andrew and Sivir here, actually, you can jump on Twitter, watch his point of view for this game coming up here. So if you've got that second monitor, you can put his perspective up. You can learn a bit about that bot lane, sort of keep an eye on that one nice and close, while still, you know, keep the mainstream up and keep an eye on the entire map. So that should be an interesting matchup to watch, obviously. And as I talk here, we've got our coach jumping in. How you doing?
Doing great, mate. Yourself?
Good. So you've coached the Direwolves. This is a new one for you from Avant, Charlie.
That's right.
So this is a new lineup for you guys. All rookie. Actually, talk to me about what it's like working with these guys compared to an experienced roster.
Yeah, man, it's really good. I get to work with people who genuinely all want to improve on a day-to-day basis. A lot of blank slates, a lot of people who have like really open minds, and people who want to work as a team.
That's fantastic.
And talk to me about how you guys are approaching best of one, because obviously OPL hasn't played best of one for a long time now.
Yep.
Best of three, you know, I actually think we both came back into it at the same time, similarly. So what is the difference approach here? Is it about, you know, just making them take every game at a time, or, you know, a little bit more to it?
Yeah, you take the games one game at a time, but what's different about the best of ones is where you play like 2 games of a same side per week. I feel like you're under more pressure now to create multiple strategies for each week because you really show what you've got on day one, so you have to kind of rethink things for game 2. But as for like the individual strategies from game to game, you really want to be fearless. I think that's what you need to do. I think you don't want to fall into the whole mindset of it's only one game. If we lose it, we're screwed. Like you still have to like play all in and play what your comp wants to do.
All right, cool. And now talk to me about what Direwolves want to do as a lineup, because Direwolves historically have been pretty balanced across the map. However, now with BioPanther, Ubisoft both being the veteran members on the top side, and I mean, I say veteran in kind of quotation marks
veterans
as
on
well.
our team.
Yeah, as a squad, are you going to be looking to play through those guys a little bit more than maybe some of the other teams?
I think all 5 of our guys are people that we can play towards. I think we don't really have a focal point on this team. I think there are some people who have bigger voices, like Bio's more experienced, Toby, they've both been to Worlds. Getback's also been to Worlds. He's seen it all, like internationally, he's been in the room, he's seen what happens. They've also all got a lot of knowledge to share. And they've all picked up the game so quickly. Like I've seen more improvement in the past week than I've seen like probably in my time of coaching with other players. Like really, these players are all very talented individuals.
Fantastic. Just a bit of an update. Obviously, we have a little bit of an audio issue on stage, looking to get that resolved and back in the game as soon as possible. I do want to ask you a little bit about this draft. It's kind of unusual. We see a lot of very common bans come through right now, and Aatrox and Urgot are ones we see a lot. How do you guys adapt when you obviously plan for these kind of champions to maybe not be on the board and then have them pop up for your picks?
Oh, I was ready to lock in Aatrox Urgot if they decided to first pick Lucian. This was a draft that I had prepared. I think what they've done by picking like a strong front line with Zach and Brom is pretty good, because obviously we're full AD. There's no getting around that. But what we have is we have good side laners that can get a lot of moves, so we can take fights with man advantage. And we also have like really strong early game. Like playing stuff like Yasuo into Camille in the mid lane is really difficult because he has to melee the wave. He gets hit by Camille E a lot. And Urgot's going to have move on this Vladimir, even if he can't kill him. He's just going to push the wave.
Fair enough. Any curveballs from Legacy that you saw that kind of threw you off a little bit, or is it all pretty standard?
I didn't expect Yasuo, yeah. I didn't think he could play Yasuo, so that's something that he hit from us, and yeah.
Okay. Does he get back confident into that lane, or is he sort of a bit like unsure?
I'm not sure. I don't think we've played the Aatrox into Yasuo matchup. Okay. I'm sure he has in solo queue or in the past, but yeah, it's not something we prepared for. But I'm sure Aatrox can get shove early. It's just going to depend what happens later on, like 3+ items in the side lane. Fair
enough. And my question. One last question for you, actually. Yep. After yesterday's game, obviously, you guys didn't get the win. How did the boys feel coming off that? Was it, confidence? Did you feel like you could bounce back for today? Like, what was the mood like?
Yeah, man. If you think about it realistically, like Chiefs is a roster that went to Korea. They have players who have been playing the game since before, like, Get Back was in like year 8. Like, we're not expected to win those games yet. If we did come in and win those games, it'd be insane. Like we're completely fine with taking our season slow, doing what we want to do, trusting in our processes, and we'll get there eventually.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and best of luck in the game.
Appreciate it.
Going to have a look across the map here. So at the start, we saw a pretty standard start from these teams, just spreading out and keeping vision spawn. Anything you notice off the go here?
Yeah, really smart passing coming out of Ubisoft. Starts top side of the map, really able to avoid that vision early on. Will be able to 3-buff here. Also has set himself up potentially for a double scuttle as well, because his bottom lane warded out bottom lane scuttle crab. So if Guts doesn't get across there, he's going to be in a big experience hole, and not many of these camps going to be up and available.
Absolutely. So looking at this mid lane here, this Yasuo versus Aatrox, a little bit of dash, and there's going to be a lot of movement this mid lane. It feels kind of volatile. I haven't seen the matchup actually in a long time, but I'm kind of curious to keep our eye on this one. On the other side of the map, obviously, bot lane is shoving in quite hard, getting a bit of room for that bot side of the map.
Yeah, I actually think Chaz should be able to win this matchup if he plays it well. However, in saying that, kind of mentioned by Charlie, the fact that Camille is just such a better jungler at the start of the game than what Zach is going to be, so should have big impact. That's the double scuttle setup that we were talking about already, 2-buff for Guts. So as the Zach, you kind of want to get your farm on very early, and not going to be able to do that just yet.
Yeah, a bit of trade coming out here in the mid lane. Ignite going down. Chaz not following up there. Maybe a bit of a premature Ignite from him, but I like the aggression. I like the looking to make the plays here in the mid.
Yeah, just wanted to try and force Get back underneath his turret. Get back is going to haunt me for all of this season, I feel. Also gets himself a very good base right now. So Get Back doesn't want to leave the lane there. It's going to push back into Chaz. He needs to shove this one out. He also knows that the Zach probably is on his Raptor camp, so in behind him. So without the Camille being able to move over there, there's not really all that much he can do to shove this one quickly. So I think that that's a good trade by Chaz. He's now going to come back, have a very good push into this mid lane and see whether he can continue to exert some pressure.
Yeah, we do have Ubisoft working towards the bot side here. It looks like Guts actually went through the mid lane into the top jungle. That looks like he's taken away. I believe he got the red buff from the top there.
No, didn't get a red buff, just got himself a Raptor camp as well as the Krogs. So still going to be 2 camps behind, and they're both the Scuttle Crabs. He has 2 camps up in his jungle, whereas Camille only has 1. Camille going to check topside now and going to be pretty disappointed with how that has gone. Maybe we'll look for a gank onto Paprise instead.
Okay, so Guts is resetting right now. Might see a little bit. There's no reason to walk into that brush there, so Udisoft now gets the information. He's missing half his jungle. Across the map, though, we're just sort of playing a bit easy and calm for the first bit. Like you mentioned, Aatrox a little bit of a slow back, but Yasuo hasn't gotten a big lead from that, so no big issues there.
No, absolutely. And I mean, because Get Back was able to shut the wave out successfully and Guts didn't go for anything over the wall, you know, didn't try and stop the push. Get Back's in a really good position right now in the wave. He's actually shoving into Chaz, and this is what Charlie said about his comp. If they get to play the game how they want to play it, they're going to have first move every single time. They're going to shove out mid-wave. They're going to sweep the enemy jungle, you know. Biopanther off the back of this bounce should be able to once again get priority or get the shove, however you want to word it, and he should be able to move first as well. So if they're able to do that, if they're able to use that pressure to kind of pick up neutral objectives, they'll be in a good position. However, at the same time, Legacy right now are just farming better than their counterparts, and they actually find themselves with, you know, a 500 gold lead.
Yeah, they do indeed. What I find very interesting, actually, as we saw it earlier, is Biopanther got a bit of priority in his lane, immediately went into that top jungle and placed the ward down looking for some vision. Just then, when Get Back got a bit of priority, they walked into that bottom side jungle and put a ward down. They're looking to track this this jungler, this Guts, because they might see him as the big playmaker on the Legacy team, which I think after yesterday we saw a little bit of that. But keeping track of him as their priority, it seems, in the early game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now Chaz hits level 6, so Guts' ganks become a lot more potent as well. With Get Back being level 6, kind of has that invulnerability, but there is a wind-up time.
Udisoft goes in. Dive. Yasuo's caught, but does disengage with the Zac there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Udisoft just looking for an opportunistic gank right now. He's pathing back towards the top side of his camp. There's actually Get Back wants into this.
He's diving forward. Flash ult's forward. Got the ignite. Is it going to be enough to tick down?
Absolutely.
And absolutely, first blood for Aatrox in the mid lane.
Yeah, really nicely played from Get Back here. And this is what I said. The young man yesterday looked very confident on the Akali. Now on the Aatrox, nothing changing. Really good damage calculation there. Chaz thought he was safe. No real threat assessment, and gets picked up first blood.
That's a nice early lead there for Get Back in the bot lane here. A little bit more trading back and forth. So now with Get Back, getting that first kill, he's got a little bit of a CS lead as he shoves into the turret as well. Ooh, Andrew taking a lot of trade there in that 2v2.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that Praetor thought the stun was going to be able to register as well because Crazy had tagged him up. However, didn't go through. Ignite's still available, as is the heal. So no summoners expended, but Praetor looking to exert some pressure with the strongest 80 carry on the patch, I think it's fair to say, about Lucian.
It is, and this is very different from the spot lane from yesterday. They were shoved in on the turret very hard. Today they are the shovers, and keeping Andrew and Corporal under their turret for a bit. Sivir will scale quite well. Now I want to call more attention to this mid lane, because in that gank there, both flashes were popped as well. Might see some return ganks here from these junglers to try and keep snowballing this mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And given the fact that Get Back used his ultimate, whereas Chaz did not, there is the opportunity right now for them to send Guts there. Has got his level 6. Also burn his flash during that exchange. And see whether they can return the gank. The problem is if you can't, and Aatrox gets summoners up. So here we go.
Oh, all comes in from Yasuo, looking to get some good trades. Get Back moving back towards his turret, but does escape. Zac is hovering around this area here, and Chaz is at that kind of health bar where you're kind of inviting something in, you know?
He's trying to keep the lane volatile. He's trying to shove Get Back out of lane. He's trying to make most proactive moves in this matchup. However, Get Back, you can see with that life steal, with the refillable potion, is very confident walking back into the lane, being able to continue to wear down. And I think that the war of attrition is certainly going to be won by Aatrox here. So bit of a strange all-in engage there from Guts from Chaz without Guts available.
Yeah, Biopanther getting spotted out there. He did that thing again where he pushed the lane a bit, walked into that top jungle and just watered up that blue buff. Trying to keep track of where Guts is on the map. That allows him to push forward, actually, because Guts is most likely going to path through there if he's going to go top lane.
Yeah, junglers are all about their efficient pathing. However, Guts has snuck in bottom.
Guts going in, does catch the bot lane, and they're going to flash out.
3 summoner spells burnt there, and Udisoft rotates a little bit late to the play. He was on risk Scuttler, so Andrew and Corporal felt a little bit more safe than what they necessarily were.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming to Corporal. You can't really look for the re-engage here, but Camille working their way into the jungle there. Looking to maybe take away the Raptor camp on the side of the map, and Zac is moving over here. We're going to see a bit of a scuffle between these junglers. The mid lane is shoved in. Aatrox will rack very quickly if they're going for it.
Yeah, he goes for it right now. Does get the knock up, and there is something for the slap, but he misses it.
Yep, just jumps over the wall. Looks like Aatrox is going to help that disengage. Cute little play there from, actually bot lane rotating in as well, actually. Braum and Lucian working their way up, but no, returning back to lane now.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you can see first priority really game for Legacy in that bottom lane, not using it to hit the turret. Crazy and Praetor still very short range and aware of the quickness being available for Corporal. So they will just jump up river, have a little bit of a peek, and this is exactly where we thought the game was going to be. You know, volatile middle lanes either means a lot of action or not very much. The top lane is just going to be a farm fest. You know, Vlad going to continue to try and push this wave out. Panther hasn't got any jungle pressure yet and probably can't solo kill the Vlad through the pool. So just jockeying position. And this is where you have to start worrying about the scaling, you know, with the Guts, with Zach, with Braum running a full AD comp. This game could get out of hand pretty quickly if Direwolves aren't able to get themselves an early game advantage.
Absolutely. It's top lane here, like you mentioned, just a bit of a farm fest. What we're really looking for on this map right now is where the junglers are making plays. The mid lane is pretty volatile. We saw a little bit in the bot lane earlier, but how can Guts and Ubisoft really impact this map?
Yeah, I don't know if they can anymore. You know, as soon as the Ninja Tabbies are brought up, that is so much of the damage being mitigated from Chaz. Guts really isn't going to lend all that much to the gank. I mean, sure, with an Ignite, they do have enough to burst him out, but that would require Get Back to not ult and to really kind of be very far up the lane and Ubisoft to not be there. So maybe it's time that Guts starts looking towards his bottom lane. He burnt 3 summoner spells down there. There's a very healthy turret that he can look to continue to take out. I think that Chaz can just continue to farm in this lane, which is fine. I mean, Yasuo scales very nicely into a side lane, so I don't think they necessarily have to force the pressure here.
Aatrox caught out a little bit by Zach. There's the ult coming from Yasuo. A lot of damage coming down. There's the Aatrox ult. They're going to kill his first form. Oh, they don't even get his first form. They let him live. Don't give him the free heal back up. Get Back's ult's going to expire. He's going to get away though.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that's what I was talking about. I mean, Get Back gets the ultimate straight away. Doesn't have to burn the flash. They get a successful gank there. But Get Back still confident enough that he can just catch this under turret and look to continue to farm up. He's already got himself a couple of camps ahead of Chaz in the mid lane and just doing a very nice job of, you know, continue to exert that farm pressure.
See the junglers starting to favour the bot side a little now. That Mountain Dragon is an objective that teams can look to take. Obviously, in the bot lane, a little bit of poking. Braum does stop a lot of that. The bot lane shove, though, from Legacy is going to help them get priority over that. But this isn't just a free dragon for them. They've got to work for this one if they want it.
Yeah, and kind of the reason behind that is that Guts doesn't solo the dragon all that well. So you can see he's going to start it up right now. But that's with Get Back being back in the middle lane. And bottom can rotate if they want to. Now they bring Praetor as well as Crazy into Fog of War, so they know exactly what's happening here. And I think this could result in our first fight.
Well, they're going to burn it down pretty quickly. It looks like it's going to be pretty hard for Direwolves to contest this one. Down to 1,000 health. It is going to get smited away. It is taken by Legacy. Direwolves going for the engage, though, coming in. There's the Camille in the middle, trying to take everyone out. The Zac does get blown up instantly. Are they going to abandon him or keep going? They're going to sacrifice him. Zac dies. They get the Mountain Dragon, but they lose a kill.
Yeah, and that's really nicely done. That's what I was saying is, you know, they can just pull the trigger very quickly. They actually got 2 kills there. Praetor fell down as soon as the fight started. So even though Legacy get themselves the dragon, they lose the fight. Ubisoft going to continue to invade Guts' jungle, and all 3 kills for Ubisoft so far he's been a part of. Very nicely done on this Camille jungle.
Yep. The Aatrox now 2-0-1 as well. Getting a nice handy gold lead in that mid lane to go along with his 20 CS. So that could start becoming a bit of a problem if he starts moving around and making things happen across the map.
Yeah, I would say well and truly a problem already, although he is being ganked right now.
Yeah, Braum is going to get him. He's going to get stunned most likely in a second here. There's the stun coming through. Crazy and Chaz are going to do some stuff. There's the ult coming through. He doesn't have the ult. There's the shutdown straight onto Yasuo. Second kill goes through. 2 on Yasuo, and that mid lane's back in favor of Legacy, I'd say.
Yeah, and that's a really nice roam from Crazy, because without him there, that wouldn't have been possible. Chaz going to be able to grab himself a turret plate as well if he wishes. Also has the red buff off the back end of it and able to pick down a shutdown. Huge swing for this Legacy lineup. They were down about 1,000 gold, and it all comes back in their favor.
Absolutely. Crazy doing some nice rotations in this game. He's really looking up that river, trying to make plays. Lucian has done 3 of those turret platings, looking for the 4th here. Probably going to get it as well. And that's going to be a nice handy gold lead in the bot lane as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they should be able to take down the turret here nearly. Will instead choose to go for the...
Surprise. He's been altered. Looking for Panther. Can he get him below that mark? No, he will escape.
That's really risky out of Papyrus. He must have been so confident in his threat assessment there, because he went into pool, and pool costs you health. You know, already being shot with a harpoon, would have been able to be dragged in there. Panther looking for the solo kill. But Papyrus survives, and he's still farming up fine. And Vladimir's late game kind of unrivaled amongst the majors. Legacy would be happy with the swing that just happened in this game.
Absolutely. The gold is in their favor. They're up 1,000. Shutdown gold in mid was very nice. They've still got that Mountain Dragon as well. They did take that during that last sort of team fight. So, like you said, they are doing pretty well. And also to mention, they're working against an all AD comp. Anytime they build a defensive item, it works against all 5 members, all the main members at least, or the carries of Direwolves. So they are efficient, and they're looking for this late game, and they're looking pretty good so far.
And the reason that you know they're against an all 5 threat comp, AD threat comp, is that everyone is just building tabbies. And tabbies against AD users are just so damn efficient. And then you're going to have things like the stopwatch being picked up, can go into a Zonya's Hourglass for Paparize. You know, Stoneplate for Guts is going to be so critical. And even when the AD carry has a pair of tabbies, you know that they're just going to look to grind out these mid-game team fights. Eventually, you know, get back, and Biopanther will be able to scale up, and it will mean less. But, you know, whilst they're on 2 to 3 items, is going to be very hard to cut through the armor of the Legacy lineup.
It is, and that's something we'll see in some of the later team fights, maybe in some patches. I think if they're getting caught, the tabbies won't do too much, but in the straight-up fights where you're trading damage, it'll be very efficient. That bot tower was taken for Legacy. It took a little bit of time. They didn't quite have it with that last push, so first turret for them. Went over to Praetor, who's looking pretty good in this game so far, as Lucian. Got a good CS lead in that bot lane against Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. And Praetor is one of those guys that he was a farm-heavy top laner anyway, so AD carry should suit him. I think that was able to climb pretty high in the off-season as well in the AD carry role, so was one of those calculated risks for Carbon to be able to take when he built this Legacy lineup. In saying that, he is going to make some mistakes. I mean, role swaps are hard for anyone, and there's just going to be some information that you don't know quite yet. But I like his outlook that, you know, he's going to have some information as a AD carry when he's side laning by himself that, you know, he's been able to pick up as a top laner that no one else in his role should have either. So not all bad for the AD carry of the Legacy lineup.
Yep, lane swaps have come out by both teams. Direwolves kind of initiating that one. Not trying to get that bot turret, just throwing Biopanther down there to get some free farm. The objective, Rift Herald is up right now for another sort of 3.5 minutes. So we'll see if teams are going to make plays towards that. Right now, Direwolves have pretty good vision over it, I'd say, on that top side of the map. But Legacy are moving up there with numbers, and they're looking to take control of this part.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the confusing thing right now is that we spoke to Charlie Wraith, obviously the coach of Direwolves, and he said we should have first move. But it doesn't really look like they've had all that many first moves, you know. Bottom lane's been pushed in the whole time. It was Legacy that went to the Dragon first. Sure, the team fight didn't work out, but then it was crazy with the repeat gank mid lane that did get Chaz 2 kills. Now it's going to be Legacy starting up this Rift Herald. And it's been Direwolves responding, which is fine, right? You can respond, you can make good plays off that, but certainly nothing proactive coming out of the Direwolves lineup so far.
Not yet, of course. They're moving into this topside river now. The Wind Dragon is the next. Air Dragon is up next. That is not a big objective for either team right now. So top side of the map is the priority. See people moving up. Bot lane obviously is held by the top laners, who are sort of pushing the waves out. Guts is caught out though. He's taking a lot of damage. There goes the ult by Yasuo. He's coming big. Guts is still alive though. He's living. Corporal gets turned around on. He takes a ton of damage till he gets thrown out of there. Andrew coming through. He's trying to do a lot of damage. Has to flash out as well. And Aatrox up in the middle of everyone.
Paparize.
Paparize from the back. Massive ult. Catches one. There's a double kill. And Legacy take a big lead in this game.
Yeah, they certainly do, and it's all going onto their carries. You can see the Yasuo scales so well. Vladimir as at the same time, no slouch in that late game. Paparize late to the play, but able to get there when all the cooldowns were burnt and clean up. And now they're looking to take the maximum. They're going to take mid lane turret. They're going to be able to take themselves the Rift Herald. You can already see Praetor in the top lane as well, looking to push that one in. Legacy explode this game.
That is a big fight. And all it was from Direwolves was player getting attacked, flashing out. Next player gets attacked, focus down, they flash out. They're escaping with little health. But when there was no one left there to take the hits, oh, don't leave it, Guts. It's been a while since we've missed one of those ones, but he does pick it up. But that's a big lead for Legacy now. What's that? That's 4,000 gold, 3,500 gold up. That's starting to get away from you now. They just start looking across the map here and start to stabilize this game.
Yeah, they're certainly doing. You can see that even though the kills are on Paparize and Chaz, the majority of the gold lead right now is actually on the AD carry. 1,100 gold right now is going to be there for Praetor. You can see 1,800 gold there for Crazy as well. So it's really the bottom lane of Legacy that have the lion's share of this, and they need to start playing around this Lucian Braum combo.
It is. The Air Drake taken by Direwolves, the Consolidation Air Drake, I think that is. And the Mountain Dragon is the next one to spawn, sort of rotating through that one. That's going to be an objective in about 5 minutes time. We'll see the teams most likely fight over. Maybe Baron will be up, and that will be the objective to play by then. Anyway, back to sort of farming lanes. Now we've got the Aatrox and the Vladimir. This is an interesting matchup at this point in the game. They're very similar in sort of CS and kills, so kind of curious to see how this one plays out a little.
Yeah, absolutely. However, 2 items have been completed for the Vlad. He's got himself that Zhonya's Hourglass as well, so no all-in potential really available to get back. See whether they're happy with Vlad into get back, or whether they want to try and swap that one around. You would expect Chaz to be comfortable in a side lane right now, so it's very interesting that they're still throwing Praedyth up here into the top lane. Maybe just because they want to open up the rest of the map, and they know he is the strongest member right now.
Yep, AD carry is pretty good at taking turrets down as well. That's the last outer turret left for them. Mid lane is the lane you want to be pushing out though. That gives you a lot of control on the map.
Well, the reason mid lane gives you a lot of control is because if you auto-attack mid lane first, we hold that thought.
First. Here comes over the wall, misses the stun, Bull comes out. Paprice escapes, sorry, continue with your point.
Yeah, so if you push out mid lane first, you get a lot of vision. So it's about the vision that you get, whoever catches the wave, you know where the numbers advantage are, and then you can move into the river first. Instead, they're just going to drop Rift Herald and look for a fight.
Get back caught from the outside by Guts, looking to do a bit of a fight here. Team Legacy can rotate much faster, get back over the wall. Guts comes in, Yasuo comes through. Getback's caught out, he's in no man's land. His ult's popped, but he's not going to heal much health back. He's going to get caught out, culling zones the rest of the team. Chaz flashes over the wall, and Getback is dead.
Yeah, and that's a really nice collapse one more time coming out of Legacy. They use that Rift Herald to draw people towards that mid lane and then start an uneven fight on the flanking member of the Direwolves. Now they can just go back to pushing down this mid lane. You can see Biopanther trying to kind of chase them away, but no luck here. Mid lane turret goes down.
Andrew gets pulled back a little bit. Sivir all comes down for safety. They're going to chase this one down. Biopanther moves forward, but they do disengage. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a retreat here. Praedyth does run the scary way, although Camille Ubisoft here also in a bit of no man's land. He's going to go for Praedyth. It's a 1v1 fight as Corporal comes through. Praedyth's a little bit caught out. His team's coming in to try and save him. Robolt comes down, catches them all. This is now an uneven fight as Legacy join the fray. Corporal goes down. Biopanther, last man standing. Vladimir tearing this team alive. He's flashed forwards. Might be a little bit too late. Does hit the Zhonyas, but it looks like this Biopanther's going to get taken out. They're still going though. Yasuo goes in as well. They're diving the turret. Andrew down as well. There's one person left. It's Getback. Can he escape this fray, or is he going to get killed as well? Looks like he is going to push the team away and survive. That's a 4 for none.
Yeah, it certainly is. Guts did fall down on the back end of the fight, so 4 for 1 overall. In saying that, it was so close. Biopanther had the harpoon into Praedyth. He was so low, had Ignite ticking. Would have been a big fear from the Fear Beyond Death. However, not going to be the case. We take another look at this one. Praedyth kind of dashes over the wall blindly, and this is risky. That's a harpoon going in, and look how low we get. He would have just been thinking, how is that not gone into execute territory? Biopanther continued to march forward because he thought he had the big fear. In the end, it just means that he has to try and flash away, will fall down, and this is just what happens when you've got a top lane Vladimir that is this far ahead. I mean, we saw it yesterday a couple of times, and now today, Paparai is putting on a clinic.
It is. Legacy took that 4,000 gold. They turn it into something bigger. It's currently sitting at around 7,000. Still a tier 1 turret top they can probably take pretty easily. So this is starting to get away from Direwolves. My question to you, Spawn, is how do Direwolves make waves back into this game?
Yeah, this is a hope and a prayer. I mean, we mentioned it, that they needed to get an early game advantage because they had themselves an all AD comp. The game wasn't on that much of a clock. However, you can't let a 6,000 gold lead get away from you. Especially given the fact that, you know, it's pretty much a 7-0-0 unkillable top lane Vlad now. You know, going to be building towards that death cap. Going to just have so much control over these zones in team fights. We'll be able to teleport in for the flank late as well, as we've already seen once before. And looks like Paparai has firm control of this game.
Yeah, Paparai, we haven't really been noticing him because the team fights are big Zac jumping in, big Yasuo ults. They're very flashy and very obvious. The Vladimir plays are more subtle. You don't notice the damage until it's too late. The chunks are happening and you're like, oh, who's doing that? Paparai is got 1,000 gold shut down on him if they can pick him off. But with Zhonya's and with the pull and all his tools, he's in trouble. Guts going forward though. Catches Sivir out, looking to engage on him. There's the Zac ult back. They're not quite catching anyone. It's a 3v3 though, but the damage is there. Lucian picks up one. Ubisoft way out of position, does clean up Lucian. That's going to be a 1 for 2 attack. Oh, actually, he gets away. Actually, oh, that Paparai flies in. He picks up a kill. Andrew is in all sorts of control problems, and he's dead too.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another 2 kills over the Vladimir. Sure, they get themselves Lucian, but they're still an 80 carry in the mid lane with that Yasuo. You can see Getback looking.
Well, Chaz sort of catching Getback out a little bit. This is a bit of a circus of dances from Chaz, but so they're going to move towards this Baron. This is going to be a bit hard for them to take. They are only 3 members here, as they had 1 back. Get back and buy a Panther. Going to have a struggle. No, they're going to reset the Baron, actually. They're going to go for these kills here mid. But I don't think they're going to make many plays here. I think they're going to disengage pretty safely.
Yeah, they just wanted to get recontrol over their mid lane wave. They looked at Baron, but realized that they probably weren't taking enough, even though Guts has some HP, doesn't have much armor at the moment. Only the Ninja Tabby going to be bought. So instead, they just go for a full reset. You have to think that Paprise is close to that death cap as well, if not would have it, because he's grabbed himself 3 kills, I think, since his last drop. So Legacy can afford to be patient on the map right there. Gets himself a nice hat. Going to be looking fashionable as he runs over this Direwolves lineup.
Absolutely. Are you looking at Baron here for Direwolves, or do they keep pushing turrets?
I mean, I think they can just do whatever they want. Guts can probably just dive whatever he sees fits, and as long as he hits a couple of members and Paprise and Chaz are there to clean up the back end of the team fight, it'll be fine. I don't think they have to go for Baron, per se. I think that, certainly an area they can look to control, and I would love to see whether Legacy have learned under Denny and, how to be able to control enough vision to be able to get that one for free. But I would expect them to, with this comp, kind of just run it down lanes, to be honest. They have just such a powerful threat comp.
Yep, Mountain Dragon taken 4 Legacy here. That's their 2nd of the game. They just take the Scuttle Crab here. This was actually kind of clever. They moved 2 down to Dragon, and the rest of the team kind of moved up the vision on Baron, so they couldn't take it away as they were doing that Mountain. Paprise pushing this bot lane in. He is very scary. He is doing a lot of damage. He has that death cap, like you mentioned. 3 full items, and the tabbies, just to really make it hard to kill him. The rest of the team rotating towards the top. 2 players there, kind of caught out a little bit here. You got Guts rotating in, trying to catch the Aatrox. See if they can make some work here. Guts diving in, but no, misses the knock-up.
Yeah, and I think that, once again, you don't need to look for that fight. Turret is going to be the free objective. You rotate well through the mid lane. You're able to grab this for next to nothing. You see also at the same time, Paprise doesn't want to teleport to this play. Teleport also just becoming back available, so he moves into the mid lane. Now they're just rotating where they have pressure instead. Like they want to look for an engage onto Paprise, but that didn't work.
Corporal dived forward and then jumped straight back out, realizing who it was. Udisoft kind of caught out though. He's in no man's land. He's getting the Asso ulted. Stun's going to come down briefly. Camille comes in as well. Tons of damage coming down. Corporal trying to disengage his team, and he does so.
Where's the Vladimir?
Oh, Vladimir over the wall. Big ult. Kills 1. Can he follow up with the rest of the team? Andrew's in all sorts of trouble. Here comes the Zac. Barely misses the wall. Hits 1, but nothing else to auto on, and he escapes.
Yeah, and you can just see every single time they look for the fight, Paprise is just reading the Direwolves line up like a book. He's just waiting for them to disengage, clump up on their retreat, and then be able to burst them out. This should be the Baron buff picked up. You can see Biopanther heading towards that line, but isn't really tanky enough right now, and it is going to be that 4v5.
Yeah, no Smite alive. Udisoft is the dead one. Paprise kind of just zoning here. He's kind of unkillable. He hits that heal, and he's in all sorts of happiness. He's still got Zhonya's. He's just trying to buy time here. Corporal takes a ton of damage, and they're looking to turn here. Zac comes flying over the wall. Big hits. Paprise is low, but does escape. Ults 2 back. Yasuo hits a big ult. Siva's dead. Udisoft is back respawned, but Biopanther's dead. Get back, getting chased down. And Direwolves, they lose the Baron. It's taken away by Legacy, and they're pushing down mid.
And what an impressive play from Legacy. This is a 16-5 game, 27 minutes, and such a clean closeout. They're looking to teleport onto the wave. They have Baron, and no one is up and available for 20 seconds from this Direwolves lineup. This should just be the game.
This should be the game. Udisoft and Corporal are tasked with the impossible task of trying to defend their Nexus turrets. Against this, there's not really much they can do here. They're going to push forward. This first turret is melting like butter. The second one as well. Corporal's trying to push minions, but they've got enough here. There goes Corporal trying to knock him up. Doesn't get much here. Nexus is open. They're going to get taken down here as they try and delay a couple of respawns. Andrew is coming up, but the Nexus just dies, and that is a win for Legacy.
That is a clean win for Legacy. The early game, certainly not what they were looking for. First blood picked up from Get Back in a 1v2. But as soon as Chaz got those 2 kills and the game stabilized, Legacy just made first move after first move, and you have to kind of question now whether Direwolves did understand the comp they were playing, because Charlie said that that is what he wanted to see from his team. And, Chaz and Guts just controlled kind of the tempo of the game from start to finish. I hate using the word tempo because I feel like we describe it incorrectly, but what it means is, they just push waves and they have first rotation. And every single big play that we saw in this map, it was Legacy starting a Dragon, Legacy rotating into the top lane, starting themselves a Rift Herald. And time again, I was just really impressed that the young players knew what to do when they had free time. Crazy going mid lane, the rotation into top lane, how to bait out the Baron and be able to pick up that last team fight. It was really textbook clean play, and, proof that this lineup is kind of, studying under Denian and getting the finer points of League of Legends down.
It was a big difference from yesterday to today as well. Like the
massive
Legacy,
difference.
it looked like two different teams.
Yeah, well, yesterday they were even in gold for a lot of the game and just couldn't make any moves because they were stuck under turrets. This time around, they sacrificed some farm at certain points and they were just able to group up and rotate as a team. When you see a team attack top lane and your top lane and not say, I have teleport, it's okay, but move towards the play, not have to use the summoner spell, just makes you really happy as a coach. And I think that, Carbon and Denian would be around Papyrus because he got gifted a couple of kills in those team fights, but then used them to run over the game.
Absolutely. It looks really good for them. One last point on Direwolves, obviously. They're not coming out of the gates really fast, but no one really expected them to.
Yep.
Are you seeing any points today that's good that they can work on?
Get Back's laning phase is heaps better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I'll hit on. I think that Biopanther and Ubisoft still look like they're on the same page. Once again, it just comes down to, can Andrew and Corporal exert pressure on the map? That has been the big question for them. Get Back is where I think... at or above where a lot of people thought. I think their bottom lane maybe not yet there and needs a little bit more work.
Fair enough. Well, you've heard enough from us. I'm going to send it back to the spiciest host of the OPL. It's Nick Boy.
We have heard enough from you, Benji. Legacy versus Direwolves. I'm excited. My first win of the day. I'm taking the credit. Bryce.
On the tips, mate. Yeah.
On the tips, yeah.
You got to take everything you can get.
It's literally all I care about. I don't care about who wins the trophies. I don't care about placing. All I care about is my tongue. Upstairs when we were watching, though, you were saying Legacy draft well, but they leave a lot on the table.
Well, it's not like a criticism. It's just super weird, and I think it's because of their players, right? Like Legacy have now played Gravitas, and then they played Direwolves this game, obviously. But we've seen this was a Direwolves draft where they got like the Urgot, the Aatrox, the Camille versus Gravitas. There was like Aurelia, Akali, like all of these like high tier like picks that can be flexed all over the place. Like Legacy is very happy to just leave stuff open, and like I mean we're a game deep for some teams, like 1 week deep for the OPL-ish, but like. The standard is not adhered to by Legacy, like the standard bans on either side, at least in like the first 3. And I think it's down to like the fact that they have Praedyth, more so than anything. Their solo lanes, like Chaz and Paprise, can obviously play like a whole bunch of stuff, but they have an 80 carry that was literally a competitive top laner last split.
Yeah.
So he can just play probably all of this stuff in the bottom lane. Crazy's coming in, like he's learning the support role again, and like they're meshing together. But I feel like Legacy is a team that is willing to like throw the gauntlet, and they're just happy to like leave everything up and be like, hey guys, let's have a fun one. And that's cool.
That's scary at the same
Yes.
time as it is cool though, because you have to look at we looked at the draft first, and you have to look at the first 3 picks that the Direwolves got, which is an Urgot, a Camille, and an Aatrox, and that's like the god flex first of all. Aatrox and Urgot mostly banned in other regions, and they have the ability to put them in both lanes. So no matter what, solo lanes are revealed. Yes, that could be seen as a weakness for sure, but there's nothing those laners can do wrong. They can do no wrong effectively in that laning phase, and Camille very good at ganking, very good
Their
at roaming.
matchups are never that bad.
Yeah, at worst they go usually even, if not a little bit behind. The only place that you would look at for the Direwolves and say maybe they could have added something else to the comp, some more flavor, is some magic damage down in the bottom lane. The Sivir and the Rakan could very easily have been like a Varus or a Morgana down there to achieve the same purpose of being bot side while still having some mid-game impact. Where for Legacy, honestly, the later that game went, the more I would have favored their composition. Zach building armor, the game's basically over.
Yeah, but I feel like we are like talking about the draft, and like Zach can build armor, but Braum is an off-tank at best. Like supports don't really have freedom to itemize that much into magic resist or armor. Like they don't have that choice. It's like, what is my best first item? I want to get that, and everything else is a luxury. So it's sort of like we're talking about draft specifically here, and like small adaptations that we would have liked to see maybe, and how it's interesting. But that game was like Legacy taking control, and they were actually being proactive, right? Like it wasn't the draft that sold the game.
They left stuff up
absolutely
and
not.
they went into the game and they were like, we're just going to control this from going woke.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. And I mean, on Legacy's side, it felt much more disciplined between the days as well.
Yeah.
When you look at their first game against Gravitas, it was a slow style. Still, they wanted to play to a very specific type of win condition. This time around, they still do that, but they execute it first. They're the ones controlling the tempo, like Spawn mentioned. And that's a really big plus for such a young team with new coaching staff even thrown into the mix as well to show they can do that.
Beautiful. Well, it was an exciting day for me. We're going to be back after this short break.